Hello everybody, this is Apba Brian and Apba Baseball Classics bringing to you a new video on game-winning drive, and in this video I want to talk about home rules I like to incorporate into the game-winning drive game with two players. These can also be applied in a solitary way. First of all, just a review of the way to play according to the rules that you get when you order the game from Downey.coms. You'll get teams. I order the college teams last. I have all the Super Bowl teams a couple seasons. We also have college teams, and today we're going to play the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs, just as a warm-up for the SEC championship game to be played later today. Don't get me wrong, I thoroughly enjoy the way game-winning drive plays, straight out of the box with the rules, and I play that way probably most of the time. But I like to add a little strategy and home rules with this game, and when you purchase these games, I think it's perfectly all right for you to add home rules that suit you. First, let's fill out our score sheet. Alabama will be the visiting team, and Georgia the home team. We're playing the 2009 Crimson Tide version against Georgia 2002 version. Alabama was undefeated, 14-0, number one in AP. Georgia was third in AP, 13-1. I like to set the cards like this to figure out their drive points and turnover scores. First, Alabama, 11 through 34 plus 1, 11 through 35. That means 36 through 66 is a turnover. Touchdown runs, 11 through 36 plus 1, 11 through, now plus 1 on 36. We're using six-sided dice, so the next number after 36 is 41. Field goal is 42. Touchdown pass will be 45. So field goal 42 through 44. Touchdown pass 45 through 62 plus 1, 63. And then the scoring field goals will be 64 and 65 in this block. There must be one number at least in every block. On turnovers, fumbles, 11 and 12. Georgia has 1 to turnovers, so 11 through 13. This first number in punts will always be the one after this, fumbles. And then the first number in interceptions will always be from your printed card, 35. So the next number, 34 for punt. Now, the interceptions were 35 to 41. Defense didn't change that. Punts will be 42 through 62, and 63 to 66 are missed field goals. On this square, Alabama did return a punt for a touchdown, so 11 through 11. And if you roll 11, you have to roll again and get 11 through 63. No kick return touchdowns. INTs 11 and 12. 1 through 52. Now, fourth down, you use the modified drive score, 11 through 35. And then you go to the fourth down defense, adds 1, 11 through 36. No fumble ranking. They did not return a fumble for a touchdown. And the PATs are 11 through 65. If you hit 65, you got to roll 11 through 42 to get the PAT. All right, that's Alabama's section. Let's go to the Georgia section. Georgia was 11 through 33 score, but Alabama had a strong defense. We take 4 off to 33. So you count back 4, 32, 31. Now skip over to the next set of 6 dice, 26 and 25. So 11 through 25 is a scoring drive for Georgia, meaning 26 through 66 is non-scoring. Touchdown runs, 11 through 25, minus 6 becomes 11 through 15. Field goals will be 16. And then the all right, touchdown passes, we'll start with the first number here, 35. And then their touchdown pass defense is -3. So take 3 off 56, 5, 4, 3. Let's go back up to finish the field goal square, 34. And field goals will be 54 through 64. Fumbles, 11 through 14. Lost fumbles are -3, so 11 only. If it was -4, you'd still have to put 11 here because you've got to have a number in every square. Punts will start with 12, and interception will start with 36. Punts will end with 35. Interception goes to 42 plus 2, 44. 45 for the punt. Missed field goals are 61 through 66, so 45 through 56 on the punt. Punt returns 11, 12, 36. Kick returns 11 through 11. Have to roll 11 through 35 again. And then interception or fourth down would be offensive score 11 through 25. 11 through 15, -6. INT returns 11 through 23, 25. PAT kicks 11 through 65, 43. They didn't return any fumbles for touchdowns. Now, for additional home rules, if you're playing with 2 players, we can add a little bit of strategy. I have these cards for defensive choices. Maximum pass blitz, which will take off 6 points if the play call is pass. Nickel pass defense will take off 3 off the drive scores. Standard defense, which does not affect the scores. Heavy box run defense, which is -3 off if a run is chosen. Or maximum run blitz, which is -6 if a run is chosen. And for home teams, home team gets 1 chance per game to play a wild card where he can set his defense after the offense declares the run or pass play. Offenses will choose to run or pass. And if they choose to run, they can add 3 to the run score. If it comes up a pass on a drive they choose to run with, then they end up taking off 3. Here's a look at the defensive play calls if you want to screen save and print these. Here's how this works. Before each drive, and actually in this game we have kick returns for Georgia, so you have to roll for a kick return to see if that's returned for a touchdown. But before every drive roll, the defense first chooses a defense that they choose to use. Say I choose to use, Georgia has the ball, Alabama chooses a nickel pass defense. You choose your defense, put it down on the table. Then Georgia, after the defense is chosen, will choose to run or pass. Let's say they choose run. It was a pass defense, so the defense guessed wrong, and we would, since it was a wrong guess, we get to add 3 to the drive roll. So instead of Georgia rolling 11 through 25 to score, they can now score if they roll 11 through 31. 32, actually, 26, 31, 30. 11 through 32, they would score. let's say the defense was chosen and it was a heavy box defense, then the defense would have guessed right. And since the defense guessed correctly, then we would take 3 off Georgia's drive roll. 11 through 22 would be a score. If the defense chooses to do a standard defense, which has no effect, then we go 11 through 25, whether Georgia chooses to run or pass. When the offense makes its choice to run or pass, they should know that also if your choice is to run, you add 1 to the clock roll. And I use 3 dice for clock rolls. I take the highest dice and subtract the lowest, 3 minutes. So if I'm doing a running drive, instead of 3 minutes, I will add 1 to that, and it will become a 4-minute drive. If I chose pass, it would become a 2-minute drive. 4 minus 1 is 3, 1 off the pass. Never subtract below 1. Drives will always take 1. And then if you happen to roll all the same dice, figure that as a 6-minute drive, plus or minus run or pass. So if you're running, it'd be a 7-minute drive. If you're passing, it'd be a 5-minute drive. Let's say you score. All right, let's say before this drive, the defense chooses a heavy box defense, which favors defense against the run. Georgia picked a pass offense for the drive, and then the offense would have guessed right, so they get to add 3, 11 through 32. So you rolled for Georgia, so you rolled 31. That's within the scoring range. So Georgia gets the roll for their type of score. And since they chose pass, if it comes up, you would add 3 to the pass and subtract 3 from the run. So a pass score would become 36 through 56. Runs would be 11 through 12. So we rolled a 22. It would be a field goal. So another word on the type of score. If you score, then the defense does not affect the type of score. Your defensive choice only affects your drive scoring roll. And whatever you choose, though, does affect the drive score. And the clock, as we mentioned, whether you add or subtract 1 to the clock roll. All right, those rules apply for a 2-player game. If we were to play a solitaire game, all right, you can still use these home rules with a solitaire game. Say, for example, I chose to be the Georgia coach, and I'm playing the role of Mark Richt. Then I would look at Alabama's scorecard and figure out the percentages of runs and passes. It looks like they run against our defense. Their chances are 11 to 41 for a touchdown run and 45 to 63 for a pass. So that would be 3 numbers, 21, 31, 41 for runs, and about most of 1 for a pass. So it's about 3 to 1 touchdown run to touchdown pass. So I would figure my Alabama would use an offense run choice probably about 1 to 4. So run 1 to 4 and pass 5 and 6. Again, I'm choosing the run plays and defenses for Georgia. So Alabama, we have to figure out what their pre-drive rules will be for defense when I have the ball. I run about 1/3 of the time and score by passing about 2/3 of the time. So let's say Alabama would defend the run with play 4. That's heavy box defense. They put a standard defense in. That's play selection number 3. And they mostly wanted, let's put 2 3s in, and then they would put, for example, nickel pass defense 2 twice, and then a max blitz once. And these would all be dice rolls, and you could set your defense pregame however you want to set it. All right, let's play out a game. The Georgia Bulldogs will use the black and red dice. We'll read the black die first. Alabama will use the little more crimson and white die second. Clock dice. Who scores dice? All right, home team starts first. Georgia has a possibility of scoring by kick return, so we do that die roll. A kick return of 11. We give them a chance. 26 is too high. Now we make our play choices. Alabama is playing defense. I'm playing offense for Georgia. I'm going to first start out with a pass option. Now Alabama will roll for their defense choice. 1 6-sided dice. They rolled a 3, which is a standard defense against my pass drive offense. No effect on the drive score numbers. So let's roll for the drive. Drive was 66. That's too high to score. 1 minute off the clock, and we're passing, so that'd be still 1 minute because that's always the minimum. It's a quick 3 and out for Georgia. We will punt, and they have a punt return possibility. Alabama, let's see if they return the punt. Too high. And now Alabama will take over on offense. Georgia just punted. I will choose my defense, and I'm choosing a heavy box defense. Alabama will roll to see what their offense will be. They roll a 1, and that's a run offense. So heavy box will take 3 off their points scored roll. 35 becomes 32. Let's see if Alabama can score. And I just throw a dice across the floor. I do that often. 22 is a score for Alabama running. We'll see. It's not necessarily a run touchdown, though. But we do see that 2 minutes goes off the clock. They chose to run, so 3 minutes goes off. That's 11. Now we see the type of score. Since they chose to run the ball, the runs become 11 through 44. Passes become 45 through 46. 35 is a touchdown run. Alabama will kick the extra point. 63 is almost no good, but it is good. 7-0 Bama. And let's see who scored on the drive. Alabama, the touchdown run was by Terry Grant. All right, Georgia has a kick return possibility. 33 is not a touchdown. Alabama will choose their defense after I choose offense. We will choose to run. Bama rolls for their defense. 3 is standard, so that does not affect the drive score roll, so it's still 11 through 25. Here's Alabama's drive. And 21 is a touchdown or a score. We'll see what type of a score. We are running on the play, so it's 3 minutes off the clock. 3 minus 1 is 2, plus the 1 for running. 8 minutes to play in the second period. Let's see what type of score. Since I chose the run, touchdown run becomes 11 through 21. Passes are 35 through 46. Rolls a 45. That's going to be a touchdown pass. Georgia quarterback was mostly David Green, but 9 and 10 would be DJ Shockey. So let's see who threw the pass. 6 is David Green. Reception was by Terrence Edwards. So a touchdown pass, Green to Edwards. Let's kick the extra point. And the extra point is good. Score is 7-7 with 8 minutes to play in the first period. No possibility of a kick return, so I will figure out my defense, and that's going to be a maximum run blitz. Alabama will roll for offense, and they chose a 2, 1 to 5. They chose a pass. So I guessed very wrong on the defense. We're going to add 6 to their score drive on the wrong guess. 11 through 45 becomes a touchdown for Alabama, or a score rather for Alabama. Here's the drive roll. 25 is a score. 3 minutes off the clock. They chose the pass, so it'll take 1 less, 2 minutes, 6 minutes to play in the first period. We'll see what kind of a score it is. Again, since they're passing, add 3 to the touchdown pass and take 3 off the touchdown run. Roll is 41. That's going to be a field goal for Alabama. Let's see, do I know who their kicker was? Tiffin. Field goal by Tiffin. 10-7, Crimson Tide. They kick to Georgia. They have a chance to return for a touchdown. 24 is a non-touchdown roll. I will choose to run, and Alabama will roll for their defense. 6, they're defending with a very bad wrong guess. They went with maximum pass blitz. So we add 6 to my point score, 11 through 36. Georgia will score. Read the black die first. Here's the drive roll. 11 through 35, rather, they score. And it's a 23, a score. We're running, so 4 or 5 minutes off the clock. That leaves 1 minute to play. We'll see what kind of score it is. Again, I chose run, so 3 plus the run and 3 minus the pass. The roll is 33. That's going to be a field goal. Georgia's kicker is Billy Bennett. So field goal by Bennett. Ties the score at 10-10. We'll go to the next drive. We're still in the first period. I choose my defense. I'm going to go standard defense. They will roll what their offense is. The offense is going to be running offense, so I'll add 1 to the clock. Here we go. Now, since I chose a standard defense, points scored stays the same, 11 to 35. And 42 is too high to score. 5 plus 1 off the clock, 6 minutes off the clock. We're 10 minutes into the second period. So at the end of the first period, the score was 10-10. And we'll see how this Alabama drive ends. 53 is a punt. Georgia has a punt return number, 11 and 12. So here's Georgia's punt return. 16 is too high to score. Now, since I'm controlling Georgia's offense, I will choose my offense first. And we're going to try to run. Alabama will roll for their defense. They rolled a 2, which is 3. That's a standard defense. That will not change the drive roll numbers. Here's the roll for the drive. Oh, one jumped the tray, so we will re-roll that again. Roll is 12. That's a scoring drive. 2 minutes plus the 1 for run, 3 off the clock, 7 minutes to play in the second period. And the type of score is, again, before we look at that, since we're running, we're going to add 3 to the touchdown run, and this was a non-passing drive. We'll take 3 off the pass. 42 is a touchdown pass. All right, we've already rolled for the quarterback, Green, so we know he's playing. And so we'll stay with Green. Touchdown reception by 9. That's Michael Johnson. And now the extra point kick is good. Georgia moves out to a 17-10 lead. No possibility for a kick return for Alabama. I choose my defense. I'm choosing number 4, heavy box defense, which will take 3 off their runs, if I guess right. Their offense is a run, so we'll take 3 off the points scored, 11 through 32. And since they guessed run, we'll remember to add 1 to the clock roll. Here's the drive roll for Alabama. 46 is non-scoring. I guess right, so 11 through 32 was the drive. 2 minutes off the clock plus the 1 for running, so it's 3 off, 4 minutes to play the second period. We'll see how that drive ended. 15 is almost a fumble. It's a punt. And I have a punt return possibility, so Georgia will roll for the punt return. 62 is too high for a punt return. It's Georgia's ball, and I will choose to run or pass. We're going to go with pass offense. Alabama rolls for their defense. That's a 2. Standard defense. Does not affect the drive roll. 11 through 25 will be a scoring drive for Georgia. .66 is too high. 5 minutes off the clock minus the 1 for a passing drive. So it would be 4 minutes off the clock. That takes us to halftime. And this drive ends by way of a punt. So that's it for halftime. Let's see, Georgia scored 7 in the second period. The score at halftime is Georgia 17 and Alabama 10. Pretty good game going here at halftime. I thought Alabama would easily beat Georgia, 09 Alabama over Georgia. Their numbers are quite a bit better than Georgia, but Georgia's leading by a touchdown. Alabama gets the ball first. They do not have a possibility for a kick return, so I will choose a defense. I'm choosing a run defense, heavy box defense. Alabama rolls for their offense. They rolled a run, so we're taking 3. 11 through 32 will be a score for Bama. Here's the drive roll. Start the second half. 66 is too high to score. 3 off the clock plus the 1 for running puts us down to 11 minutes in the third period. That drive ended with a 33 punt. No turnovers in this game yet. Both teams have protected the ball. Punt return for Georgia. 11 and 12 will possibly score them. There's a 12. So since we rolled 12, I got to roll again and hit that 36 on the last number. If it's the last number 12, you re-roll and hit the number in the parenthesis. So 11 through 36 will be a touchdown punt return for Georgia. That could be big. It is a touchdown punt return for the Bulldogs. Let's see who did that. There's 2 that did that in their season, so let's roll. 8, punt return was by Bruce Thornton. Since it was a punt return, no time goes off the clock, so write 11 again. And let's kick the extra point. Extra point, 11 through 65 will be good. It is good, 52. 24 to 10, Georgia. Alabama's ball. We'll choose our defense. I'm picking a standard defense. Georgia or Bama rolls 5. They're going to be passing on this drive. That'll take 1 less off the clock. There was no effect on the drive roll since there was not a right guess or wrong guess with the standard defense. So 11 through 35 will be a score. 26 is a score, and I forgot one of the dice. So it is a score for Alabama. They were passing on this drive. So that will take 4 off the clock, minus 1 be 3 off the clock. So we're at 8 minutes to play in the third period. We'll see what type of score. Now, since they're passing, add 3 to the pass numbers. 11 through 6, let's see, TD pass will be 45 through 66. Actually, 65, there has to be one number left in every box. So the 66 will still be a field goal. And minus 3 for a run, 11 through 34. Here's the roll. 52 is a touchdown pass. Alabama's quarterback is McElroy. And he threw that pass to 10, Roy Upchurch. Extra point. The extra point attempt is good. 17 to 24, 8 minutes to play in the third period. Georgia has a chance to return the kickoff. Is way too high to score. So here we go with the drive. Georgia chooses to run offense and run an extra minute off the clock. And Alabama will roll for defense. They're defending against the 2. They're defending against a pass. So Georgia guessed right. We get to add 3. 11 through 32 will be a score for Georgia. Here's the roll. '61's too high to score. We're running, so 4 or 5 minutes off the clock. 3 minutes left to play in the third period. And let's see how that drive ended. 55. Punt. Alabama has a punt return possibility, so we'll see them return the punt. 63 is too high. Bama's ball. I will choose my defense. And actually, in this case, you know, for sure, if we were playing two people, I would choose a nickel pass defense because my opponent doesn't want to run the clock down, being 2 scores down. But so I'll go ahead and choose nickel pass defense, but we will still, of course, roll for Alabama's offense, and it is a pass offense. I guessed right, so we'll take 3 off. 11 through 32 will be a score. Alabama's got a pass offense drive. And it's a scoring drive. 3 minutes off the clock. 4 minus 2 is 4 minus the 1 for passing. It'd be 3 off the clock. That takes us to the end of the third quarter. We'll see how the drive scored. They were passing, so add 3 to the pass numbers, take 3 off the run numbers. We rolled an 11. That's definitely a touchdown run. Kick the extra point. 63 is good. It was close. I see they were down by 2 scores. They're down by 1 score. Now we're tied. Bama 24, Georgia 24. And let's see who did the touchdown run for Nick Saban's Crimson Tide. Rolled a 4. That's Mark Ingram with the touchdown run. Fourth quarter. All right, 4 fingers up. We're in the fourth quarter. I don't know why teams do that. Hold their 4 fingers up for fourth quarter. Everybody knows it's the fourth quarter. Here's the kick return for Georgia. Not a scoring drive. And now the Georgia offense will choose to run. We want to take time off the clock. Alabama will roll for their defense. They are defending against the 5 is 2. Nickel pass defense again. That favors Georgia. 11 through 32 will be a score for the Bulldogs. Here's the roll. Too high to score, and it takes 2 plus 1 for running, 3 off the clock. 12 minutes to play in the fourth period. We'll see how the drive ended. 51 is a punt. Still no turnovers in this game. Bama has a punt return possibility. 36 is too high. Georgia's ball. Excuse me, not Georgia's ball. It's Alabama's ball. And again, in the home rules, you can use wild card defense once. I'm going to pull out the wild card defense for this drive. Georgia rolls for their offense. They are running on offense. So I'm going to do max run blitz defense. Wild card allows the home team to choose their defense after the opponent's offense is revealed. So we're in a guess right with 6. So we're taking 6 off their drive. 11 through 25, Alabama will score. Here's Bama's drive roll. 35 is too high. Had I guessed wrong, that would have been a score. But we chose to use wild card and maximum run against the run. So it's a non-scoring drive. They are running, and it's going to take extra time off the clock. So 5 minutes go off the clock. 7 minutes to play in the fourth period. We'll see how the drive ended. 65 is going to be a missed field goal. Field goal attempt, no good. Georgia takes over on offense. This offensive drive will be a running drive for Georgia. Alabama will roll for defense. They rolled a 3, defensive 3, and that is a standard defense. It does not affect the drive roll. Here's the drive roll. 11 through 25 is a score, and is 12. That's a score. We're running Georgia, so adds 1 to 3. That's before off the clock. 3 minutes to play in the game. Let's see what kind of a score that is for the Bulldogs. Since I was running, we add 3 to the TD run possibility, and we take 3 off the pass. 64, it's going to be a field goal. Field goal by Georgia. That is, I believe that's Bennett. Georgia moves out to a 27-24 lead, 3 minutes to play in the game. Bama has no possibility for a kick return. They're going to take over on this drive. First, I choose my defense. I'm going to go heavy box defense here against the run. Here's Bama's roll for their offense. They rolled a 2. That's a run offense, so I guess right. Take 3 off, 11 through 32. Here's the roll for the drive. 11 through 32 is a score. All right, 36 is not a score, and I should have thrown that out there. They were trying to run on their drive, so we'll take 1 off the numbers before. That will take us down to the end of the game. Final score, Georgia 27, Alabama 24. I tell you what, I hope tonight's SEC championship game plays out this close. Looking forward to watching this game. I'm not a huge fan of the SEC. I follow Missouri. But I believe that Missouri, the University of Missouri in real life, when they made the decision to go to the SEC and leave the Big 12, I think they made a mistake, because now their players, the SEC, I think, kind of screwed them over. They put them in the Eastern Division. So if you have a kid who plays for Missouri, you're driving all the way to the East Coast every other week. And that's difficult, and I believe that hurts Missouri's recruiting. And they don't get natural rivalry games, which could be a rivalry game with Arkansas, for example. Be interesting to see what they do when Oklahoma joins the SEC. I think that's the reason why Lincoln Riley went to SC. He wants no part. This is just personal opinion. I think he wants no part of playing SEC teams every week. He would rather go to USC. And I think that's why he and some coaches and some players are jumping off the Oklahoma ship, because I think that possibly going to the SEC, the same thing's going to happen to Oklahoma. It happened to Missouri. Missouri was actually a national power back around the years of 2007, 8, 9, 6. They were a very strong team in those years. And with the Big 12, and they threatened for the national championship. They made a decision. They thought they could never get a national championship unless they went to the SEC. And I understand that thinking, but they should have thought about their recruiting and what that will do with them down the road. I think the recruiting has been much harder than when they played locally. I mean, they could have, Missouri had natural rivalry games, of course, with Kansas, the border war, and Illinois. Great rivalry games. But they can't have that now that they're in the SEC. Anyway, just a bit of a rant. Hope you enjoyed this game. Hope you enjoyed the home rules that I have added. I think they work best with 2 players, but you could do this with 1 player as well. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and may God bless.